the deck to flex on your friends.
Your real friends didn't care whether you was wearing freaking Target shoes or Gucci flip-flops. Hope I didn't talk your ear off, and if I did, well, you'll be alright. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Cece here, and I want to thank you guys so much for taking time to come see me today. You already know I appreciate it. Guys, what is happening like with this quarantine thing going on? Like, I was telling my sister, this is low-key the craziest thing that's happened in a long time. Like, seriously, like, so crazy. Like, school, I don't know where you guys are, but we're in Virginia. We're pretty close to DC where I'm located, and school's out for the rest of the year. So it's absolutely crazy. Thankfully, I've been working from home since October, so my exposure has been minimum, but I have definitely been missing the gym. So work out at home, of course, but I am starting my second YouTube channel. I will be doing both channels, this one and that one. This one's still gonna be like lifestyle and wellness, but that channel is gonna be more fit stuff. So I'll be sure to link that below. So you guys go ahead and subscribe to that channel as well. That will be a once-a-week upload. And I think in the next 2 weeks, I'll probably have out my first video, which will be an at-home workout. So definitely subscribe to that channel, and yeah, I appreciate it. And onto the video. So for today, I'm just going to be talking about 4 or 5, I can't remember, I think it's 4 or 5 lessons that I learned in my early 20s. Technically, like, I'm in my mid-20s, but it's being 24, I thought this would be a good video to do, just give you guys something to listen to. You can just put me on, you can cook your breakfast, or, you know, go for a walk or something like that. I also did a 10 lessons I learned in 2019 video, and that was a great one, so definitely go check that out. But just kind of bouncing off that, where I spent most of 2019, at age 23, I grew the most. I've never grown so much, like, as a person, and I just want to be able to share that with you guys and hope that it helps shed some light on some areas in your life that you want to grow, or, you know, you can take something away from that. And that's just my whole point with doing this. And I love listening to these kinds of videos because sometimes it helps you do some internal reflection that's much needed. And even writing these lessons, you know, taking notes of things I wanted to mention, it did help me reflect and help me come back to some things that I need to remember. Onto the lessons. Okay, so the first lesson, oh, this is not the first. One lesson that I want to discuss today, something that I learned, is about self-validation. When you seek validation from outside sources, it doesn't really make, it sounds so basic to say it, but it just doesn't make sense, because everything you are is based off the experiences and the things that you've been through, and no one knows your story like you do. So you can't seek validation from outside sources, whether that be like social media or, you know, your friend group. If your friend group, or, you know, the people you're hanging around is forcing you to act a certain way, not forcing you, but you find yourself acting differently than you normally would act, or doing things you normally wouldn't partake in, then that is the indicator that maybe you are trying to fit in versus belong. And fitting in is more based on the fact that you're trying to change yourself to be accepted, versus belonging, where you are yourself and then you just feel this sense of connectedness regardless of you doing certain things, and you're always 100% being yourself. I know that for my life and for me, I do what's best for me, and that's not selfish. I know that the best I can be, of course, you know, that spills into other areas of my life, and because I have that self-validation, I don't need others to approve necessarily, or to give me a thumbs up, or, you know, a like or anything like that. I give that to myself, and you're gonna notice that a lot of these tie in together a little bit, because it's so true. They're all interconnected, these lessons that I'm gonna go through, but I don't need that from other people. I get that from myself. That's all that I need. That's one of the realizations I came to. I don't need to be validated from anybody else. Anything that I am as a person, I'm gonna be proud of that. Anything that I bring to the table, I'm gonna be proud of that no matter what. Now, I don't live as fearful, or I'm not saying I'm never scared to get judged, but like, I care a lot less now, and that's honestly like such a nice burden to let go of because of the world that we live in today. But I don't feel as scared to be judged. I'm going to be unapologetically myself for no other reason than that's just what it is. That's what it is. You accept me or you don't, and that's just, I'm just gonna keep pushing, you know. And I also understand, you know, part of that self-validation is understanding that everything isn't for everybody. I know I'm not gonna be everybody's friend, not everyone's gonna like me, and that's completely okay, because I'm personally, like, I don't like everybody. I'm not gonna be everyone's friend. I don't like what everyone else is always doing, and that's completely okay. But that's a conversation you need to make sure you definitely have with yourself, and you let yourself know that you are enough, and just let that be it. You don't need to be a certain way, act a certain way, have certain things in order to be validated. Get that from within. And honestly, being your true self is one of the best gifts that you can give people. So make sure to give people and everyone around you, your friends, your work friends, your family, that's the best gift that you can give to the world, is to completely and unapologetically be yourself. So make sure that validation is something that you're working on. And if you find your character switching and changing depending on who you're hanging around with, then you need to take yourself, you need to maybe go get a notebook and ask yourself some hard questions. Why do you feel like you need to act a certain way around certain people? And if you know you're gonna feel like you're less than or you're not good enough, then those probably aren't good people to be around. Or you just need to work on that self-validation so that it doesn't matter what you do, you can just feel comfortable being yourself. Okay, so this next lesson is also really big, and it also has a lot to do, I think I would say it's kind of connected to the last one, and this is the fact that I don't really compete with other people anymore. I just compete with the best that I can be. And this whole idea literally came from a motivational video that I listened to on YouTube by Tony Robbins. He was talking about an interview he did with Michael Jordan or something like that back in the day, and he asked Michael Jordan like something about how is he the best, or how come he'd always beat people. And you know, Michael Jordan said something along the lines of, everyone was competing with who I was or who I was at that moment, but Michael Jordan, was always competing with the best that he can be, and that's how he was able to beat everyone. And not saying I'm trying to beat people, but everyone is in different places in their lives, and we already know, like with sharing things on the world, people really only show the highlights, so you can't really compare where anybody is in life with where you are in life. Like, you just can't. It's a waste of energy, to be 100% honest. There's no point in doing it. It doesn't really serve you. And once you kind of let go of that comparison nature with other people and what other people are doing, it also has to do with inner peace too. You just feel cool. Like, I'm like, it is what it is. Like, I'll get there when I get there, you know, at that point in my life. And I remember being young. When you're young, you're like, I'm gonna be 20, I'm gonna be married and and have children and just be this far in life, and I've graduated, get a job, right out of school. And that is some people's story, but it's not everyone's. And it's kind of crazy to try to fit yourself to a mold that you consider, or that anybody considers successful, or where you should be. Life is just so variable. You can't predict the future. So even if you don't reach, say, a milestone or something, but you see someone else does, it doesn't take away from you as a person. That doesn't give you any less of value. So just be happy, you know, with where you are, and celebrate the small victories, and you'll find yourself comparing yourself less and less. And just be appreciative. Honestly, guys, coming from a place of gratitude every single day will really help you get away from that. Something else with comparing is, you know, working on being happy for people too. You know, when people do hit accomplishments, or you know, see someone post about, you know, something they recently got done, or you know, they're proud of, being happy with them and for them too. And that really does help as well, you know. And understand that energy is also going to come back to you when you succeed and you hit your milestones, and you hit your goals as well. So being happy for other people really does help lessen the feeling of inadequacy when comparing your life to other people. If comparing is how you evaluate your worth, you're always going to lose, because I'm one of those people who believe there's always going to be someone who's prettier, skinnier, more fit, more healthy than I am. So it makes no sense to compare to where I am to where they are. It's not always easy, and like all these things take work, and I'm not perfect at them, but constantly working at it and constantly reminding myself of these things, to be happy for others and to validate myself, be happy with myself and where I am in life, that definitely helps. And especially in those moments when it is a little bit more difficult, just reminding myself of those things definitely does help me, I think, overall be a more well-rounded individual. So that was that lesson. I actually kind of learned this lesson through books. I've read a lot of self-help books and spirituality books and things like that, and I do really think it contributed significantly to my growth last year as a person. This lesson I've learned in a couple of books, but I think the main one who made me really understand and realize it was Soulful Simplicity. And the lesson is that I give myself value, not the things that I own, not the things that I wear, not the car that I drive, the house that I have. Those things don't give me value. I give myself value, and I increase that value by learning, you know, expanding my mind, trying new things, and just growing as a person. That's how I give myself value. It doesn't matter what I wear, it doesn't matter what car I drive at all. Those aren't the things that give me value in life. Unfortunately, we live in a society where too many people give value to people based on what they wear or what they own, and it's just, I'm more interested now, you know, I don't know if it's because I'm an adult at 24, but I'm more interested to you as a person and what you're bringing to the table with that. And Soulful Simplicity honestly was really impactful in my life, as in I gave up a lot of clothes. I downsized about half the clothes I had in my closet and my drawers and things like that, and it felt so good. And even now, like, I know I still like nice things. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like I don't like nice things, because I do, and finding that balance for me has been hard. You know, the balance between liking nice things and knowing things don't give me value. I still like dressing very cute. I still like looking really nice. I still like doing a little bit of makeup here and there. I still like really nice jewelry. You know, those are things that aren't gonna change, but I know that with or without, whether I'm wearing this or the makeup or not, I still am the same person. I still have the same amount of value. Subtract everything, I'm still the same person. I still have the same amount of value. Even the car I drive, you know, it doesn't make me more or less of a person. And I feel like because we as a species, as a society, as we judge people based on what they have and what they own, we kind of reflect that back on our own selves, and that's where another sense of inadequacy can come in. We can feel like we're not good enough, you know, our car's not nice enough and things like that, when in reality, like, if we're not growing as a person, if we're not doing the best that we can to change our mentality and to always try and be a better version of ourselves internally, not minus everything else outside, nothing matters outside. Like, seriously, the outside stuff doesn't matter. Vanity is so temporary, and if you value people based on what they look like, that's not going to be a long-term thing. It's just not. It's just real. It's just realistic. Cars, what? Cars go bad after so many years. Jewelry can tarnish. Clothes, you'll outgrow them. Maybe you'll get skinnier and you can't wear them. They'll be too big. And relying on this kind of ties into one lesson from my other video, so make sure you watch it too. Outside ever-changing sources for value. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to describe. I hope I'm describing it in a way that makes sense, because in my mind it makes sense, but I want to articulate it in a way that makes sense. You give yourself value. You can give yourself value. You're the only one that can give yourself value. And it sounds repetitive, but that's really what it is. It doesn't matter what you wear. It doesn't matter how much your car payment is. It doesn't matter if you're driving the nicest car. If you're a crappy person, you're a crappy person, period. I do want to get places in life, of course. You know, I do like having nice things, of course, but I know that if I'm not working on me internally, outside of those external things, then there's really no point. Like, it's a journey that never ends for any of us. Like, unfortunately, we're always growing through different seasons of life, and I can't even tell you right now what the growth I'm going to go through in the next year, let alone like what growth I'm going to go through when I have children or when I get married. I can't tell you that lesson that you're going to learn. I just know that you always need to try to learn them, and that's really what's going to give you value as a person, and you're going to be able to better serve yourself, those around you, when you understand and you grab that value and you derive that value from within versus on those external, those materialistic things. Such a huge like lesson in the society, because you guys know, if you scroll on Instagram, you know, people will be Balenciaga and this, that, and the other. And now when I see people flex, I'm like, congratulations. You know, I'm not against it, but I just don't, I'm not, you know, you can do whatever you want to do with your life, but I'm not into the flex culture. Like, there's a really good video Tiffany made about the flex culture, so I'll try and link that below because I really like her videos. It's just doesn't make you, it doesn't give you any value. That's my thing as a person. It doesn't make you more or less of a person, a better person, to have Balenciaga or to have these name brands and to flex on people with them. It doesn't make you a better person. I'm sorry to break that to you, but it just doesn't. And yeah, just make sure you guys are working on your value, making sure that you're giving yourself value, and that if you feel like you need to one up your friends or one up someone you're dating, or you know, whoever your competition, it's probably not worth it. Think about the mental game, how you can one up your mental game and how you can grow there, and then that's honestly going to be long term more beneficial to you than buying that purse or going and splurging on that brand new shoes that just dropped.
Why you gonna keep going into debt to flex on your friends?
Your real friends wouldn't care whether you was wearing freaking Target shoes or Gucci flip-flops. They ain't your real friends if they really care what kind of shoes you wear. It's about who you are inside. One more lesson I wanted to talk over with y'all, that social media is best in moderation. So back when I was actually working in the office for the current job that I have, for those of you who don't know, I've been working at home since about October. The hours were just too time consuming on top of the drive and commute that I had. I was doing way too many hours and it just wasn't worth my time. So I started limiting my time on social media because that would give me more time in the evenings to spend time with my family, to help cook dinner, and to get homework done. So I started limiting my time on social media, and one of the ways I started doing that is Monday through Friday I would actually delete the two social medias I used the most, which at the time was Facebook and Instagram, and then I would only download it on the weekends. And you guys, I loved it. Honestly, the first couple weeks, of course, it was like, I miss it. What am I gonna scroll on when I'm going to the bathroom? I'm like, first of all, why am I scrolling when I go to the bathroom? Think about it, like, isn't it weird that you feel the need to check in? Like, what are you missing? Like, these are the questions I ask myself. What am I missing on my 5-minute bathroom break that I feel like I need to scroll on Instagram? Like, there's probably nothing new. It's probably the same girl freaking trying to take a booty shot, the Instagram baddie pic, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing that I'm missing, and it was consuming a lot of my time. Time wasn't in abundance for me at that time because my evenings were really small. Like, my evening window to hang out, to try and help my mom cook dinner, put dinner away, fix my lunch, prepare for the next day, do my homework, wind down, like, it was just too much. So that's the main reason I did it, but I loved it, you guys. Like, honestly, the detachment now I feel has been so incredibly rewarding, and even now I'm struggling. I don't struggle, but I often forget to post, and I need to post more because obviously now I'm trying to be more of an influencer, so I'm trying to work on that. But after creating that detachment, it's definitely served me. I was really getting tired of the social media. Social media made me compare, and that's the last lesson I just talked about. It made me compare, and not in a good way. I didn't always like think about this, you guys. Think about the way things make you feel when you get on social media. Is it something that's making you feel happy? Is it something that's making you feel like good about yourself, or is it the opposite? And sometimes I feel like most of the time it was the opposite. I love seeing what people were doing, but I did let it affect me at that point. I think too much. I was just a little bit too hard on myself about where I was or what I should have been doing versus, you know, what other people were doing, and it's just not right. It's not right. And I don't think, maybe this isn't true for everybody, but it allowed me to get more comfortable in my skin because I'm like, I stopped comparing as much, and I just started being in my moment with myself, and not having that constant social media in my background, like back here in my mind, definitely helped me release some of those insecurities or inadequacies and just feel more comfortable in my skin. And I think that also ties into self-validation because I stopped caring as much what other people thought. Like, one of the things I really do love too is that Instagram got rid of the like counter thing. I actually really enjoy that because, you know, I told my sister, we were having a conversation about it when they first did it. I was like, now people will actually more just be posting to actually post some things because they want to post it, not because they're trying to get a certain amount of likes. And that's also, you know, a big part of where comparison can come in, or, you know, you don't feel like, well,
so-and-so got this many likes on their picture and I only got this many likes.
It's like, that shouldn't be something that makes you sad. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's a logarithm, or you know Instagram doesn't even put the newest feeds at the top. It mixes it all in, so it's like such a silly thing to even compare yourself or to feel bad if you didn't get a certain amount of likes on your photo. And also, like, this made me feel better about myself too, just distancing myself from social media and only using it in moderation, because people only post the highlights. What people present to the outside world is usually an edited version of their reality. I got that from the book I'm reading right now, and I'll go ahead and put it right here. It's Gifts of the Imperfection, Brene Brown. Letting go of who you think you are and accepting who you are, or who you think you're supposed to be. I don't know, I'll put it right here. It's a really, really good book, but that's so true. People always put the edited version, the filter version. We're getting out of control with these filters. Oh my gosh, you guys. Literally, I put on filters, I'm like, who is this? Like, people use these all the time. It's just too much. And the thing about it is I think everything, like in general as a whole in life, everything in moderation, but I think people do overuse certain things. And like certain people I see who always use filters, I'm like, are you using it for you, or are you using it to show off for other people? Because either way, it's not good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I use filters too. I'm not gonna say like
I never use filters.
Because I do, but I try to humble myself real quick. If I'm looking real cute, I'll take that filter off and be like, honey, you know what's going on, you know what's real, don't forget that. And I try to never forget, because people go so far with it. And then if you're seeing that, if you're seeing, you know, these girls with this flawless skin, this completely flawless skin, and you know, they change the lighting just right so it looks real, that makes you think that that's how she really looks, or how he really looks, whoever's using those kind of filters. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to spruce yourself up or to look a little nicer, but I feel like it kind of changes, it just puts an unrealistic expectation on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally can't look like that. Some of the girls on there with the filters, I literally can't look like that, because it's not real. It's not real. And being able to differentiate sometimes between what's actually real and what's not real with the filters and with social media in general, it can be really difficult. So I know you guys are probably active on social media, and if you are, not to, you know, go against what I just said, but follow your girl on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, follow your girl. But I challenge you, I would try maybe 2 or 3 days, something like that, and go completely without it. And I'll go in and out. Like, seriously, if I find myself too distracted, like during the week doing something, I'll delete it real quick and just make sure I stay on task. And that's another thing, deleting social media, you guys, I was able to get so much done because my distraction went from here to down here. It allowed me to be less distracted, so I was able to get a lot more done. So keep that in consideration too. You know what, during this quarantine, you guys, seriously, take a couple of days without social media, or take a Sabbath time. That's what I've been calling it. I try to take 1 or 2 hours a day where I put my laptop away, I put my phone away, camera, everything, anything electronic, I put it away, and I spend 1 or 2 hours every day just being in my zen, whether I'm meditating, or normally I do some actual reading, like a physical book, because I do have books on my phone, and I'll take book notes, things like that. Think about doing that. Challenge yourself a couple days, maybe go a weekend without it. Now it's a little bit more difficult because, of course, you guys know I have a platform now, and I do want to put myself out there more. But if I'm not using it, or I find it's more distracting, or I need to have focus time, I will delete the apps. It's completely free to delete and re-download, and I do that all the time. So you guys, that concludes a couple of more lessons that I learned. I think those are just some of the more impactful lessons. I've learned countless things, and I was gonna do like 23 lessons I learned when I was 23, but I was like, that's gonna be a long video. I don't know who's calling me. Who is this? Who's calling me? I don't know who this is. That would have been way too long of a video. So I ended up just doing a couple of things that I thought would help you guys out. And I want you guys to take into consideration when you're trying to grow, or when you're trying to learn. And, you know, I hope that it will allow you to ask yourself some hard questions, and, you know, do some work on yourself as a person, and know that that'll benefit you. That'll definitely be something you'll thank yourself for, and it'll allow you just to be the best you. So I will be having some workout videos soon, so y'all can keep it right and tight. Summer Body 2020 is still happening. I don't know where I'm gonna take it, but it's still a thing. Alright, I'm gonna put my new channel link below, so you guys can go ahead and subscribe. And while y'all down there looking in the description box, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to become part of the C Squad. And of course, hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video. I really appreciate y'all's time today. Hope I didn't talk your ear off, and if I did, well, oh well, you'll be alright. Y'all ain't got nothing else to do. I know you ain't going nowhere. Y'all ain't going nowhere. So, you know what? While you're here, you might as well just watch another video. I love y'all so much. I will catch y'all in my next video. I'll see y'all soon. Be safe, wash your hands, and sanitize. Bye.